Okay, so I'm going to be talking about my personal easy top plants in my collection. And so I have, honestly, I don't know, but I have quite a few different species of plants, and some of these are all in the same species and some aren't. But these are just my personal top easy plants, and all of these plants that I am going to list, they are extremely forgiving, and they forgive mama whenever mama doesn't water them for a long time. So that's one of the top reasons that makes them my most easy plants. And also, some of these may not be your typical plants that you would find in like a easy plant list, but these are what works for me. Okay, my first plant I'm going to talk about is the Monstera deliciosa. Y'all, y'all. If you're not new to my channel, you know that I love my Monstera deliciosas. I may or may not have, I think now I have 16, but that doesn't matter. Well, no, actually it does matter, because that is why it is number one on top of my personal most easy plants, because they are, like I just mentioned, very forgiving with watering. And most of my majority of my monsteras, they are in their large forms. I do have some that are still in the small cute heart-shaped forms, but since they are in their large forms, they're in I want to say 14-inch planters. I water them once a month, sometimes a little bit over that. They do fine completely drying out. But do keep in mind, for my personal environment, I do have a natural semi, not necessarily high, but just a good solid natural humidity. It stays at least in the 60s and in the high 50s without a humidifier, but I do try to keep my humidifiers on when I remember. And then, of course, it brings it back to the 60s. So it's like, it's not horrible or perfect humidity, but it's still like, it's the sweet spot. So my plants, whenever I do let them dry out, especially my Monstera deliciosas, like, they forgive me, and they're okay with it. And especially, like, for instance, so this is Alexander. He's about to push out a new leaf, y'all. I actually just noticed that this morning, and I smelled so big. He's one of my first monsters. Whenever I first started my collection, I got like three within like months of each other. But anyways, I haven't watered him in, I honestly, I don't even remember. Even if I put my finger down in the soil, he's still dry even beyond halfway, but I probably won't water him for another few days or so. And especially too with these, the monsteras, you can tell, well, even with most plants in general, like if their leaves are super droopy, then obviously that baby needs a drink. But he's doing fine right now. And so if I don't see any signs like that, then I'm not going to put any water in him. He's letting me know that, like, Mom, I'm good. You ain't got to water me right now. And if you don't have one, go get one. Especially now, you can get these at Home Depot, Lowe's, like, I've seen them in grocery stores too, down here in Texas, like Kroger and HEB, and they have it for like 20 bucks, 25 bucks. So they're very easily accessible now and at an affordable price. Okay, next on my list, number two, it will be the Rhaphidophora tetrasperma. So look look at this one. So baby is literally growing up in Alexander, and I felt bad because I had to adjust Alexander, move him around a bit, and then one of her stems almost completely just like fell and broke, and but thankfully it didn't, and so I like put her gently back there. She loves growing up in him, so I'm like, okay, you do what you do, boo. But this is also another one that's very, it's easy. She doesn't dry out that quick, and she is in a not necessarily chunky soil, but in a semi chunky soil too, and she does good. And I've literally probably propagated her, not even lying, maybe over 20 times, and I've only had this plant since 2023. Yeah, since 2023. And she keeps growing, and then over here she has her stem is getting like even more thick, and her leaves are getting bigger. So I'm very happy about this plant. She just does her own thing, and just simple. I don't do any extra care for her. And she receives a north facing window, just like Alexander. These are located in my plant room, and they're about maybe give or take 10 feet away from a north facing window. That's the only light they receive, and they're doing good. The next one, number 3, it will be my Anthurium VEITCHII. At first, whenever I was thinking about doing this, I was like, no, Janae, don't do that. It's not, they're, I know that Anthuriums aren't necessarily as easy for everyone. But as I mentioned in the beginning of the video, these are just my personal easy plants. Y'all, my Anthurium VEITCHII, she is just a stunner, and I don't do anything. She's my very first Anthurium ever in my collection. And I was very hesitant about it because of everything I read online, on Google, on YouTube, on the socials. They're like, they're very finicky plants, or you have to have high humidity, or you have to do this, you have to do that. Y'all, I got her. This was an import from Tropicals in Ecuador. It was in sphagnum moss. I put her in water, and then I don't know, maybe 2 weeks later, I put her in Pond Leca mix, and that was back in 2023. And it is now 2025. I have done nothing. I keep her water level high, and she lives indirectly under this Soltech light. There are some leaves that blocks her from having direct light, but she still receives that light. And she's about maybe 5-6 feet away from my north facing window, but at an angle, since she is a little bit closer to the ground, since she's on a shorter plant stand. And that, I haven't moved her. I do touch her. I do tell her how much I love her because she's stunning, and she's doing so good. Honestly, I think I will maybe in the next, I don't know, maybe during the summertime, in the next few months or closer to summer, I will put her in her bigger pot, only because like her leaves are sizing up to, and her roots are filling the pot, and I just want to give her the best beautiful life that she can have. And I'm very proud of that because like I said, I was like really nervous, and I was like, oh, why you gonna get this Anthurium, Janae? You gonna get it imported and it's gonna die on you, girl. Look at me. Go, Nay, go. Okay, next on the list is my Hoya KERRII. So I have 2 of these. One I got as sweetheart KERRII. I think it was like these 4 or 5 hearts in it. And if I knew that whenever they're just like the single hearts that they don't vine off, whatever, I was fine with that because I've actually been wanting a Hoya KERRII ever since I started in 2020, and I was like, Nay, it's time, treat yourself. And so I got it, and look at her. Not only is she like becoming a plant, but she's also has these little cute variations. So I'm, yeah, very happy about that. I got her at a grocery store, Kroger, for I think it was like $12, $10, something like that. And then this other one I got from Dr. Delphine in Dallas, Texas, a plant nursery, and they're thriving. So this one lives under my Soltech light, but indirect light because there are some leaves blocking her. And then my other one is right on my north facing windowsill. And I water these once a month, y'all. And I don't have a lot of Hoyas. I just have the KERRII, Crimson Princess, and just recently Obovata. Yeah, and I don't know much about them besides that they have beautiful blooms, but yeah, all of my Hoyas that I do have, very low maintenance, and I don't have to water them a lot, and I love that. And so yeah, these definitely made my list because just the other day I watered this one, and I was like, wow, I actually haven't watered you in a very long time. I'm not gonna even say how long it was. But she was very forgiving. I gave her a good soak, and she looks as if nothing happened, as if her mother did not neglect her, which she did. Okay, my next plant is another Monstera. It is my Monstera ESQUELETO. Very easy. I haven't had any issues for her. This was another plant before I purchased it. I knew I always wanted one, but I was so intimidated by her. Like literally, I barely like touched her leaves. I was like, oh, like she has her fenestrations are like so big and wide. I was like, I'm gonna tear her leaves, and I was like, am I gonna overwater? Am I gonna underwater her? I was like a very helicopter mom whenever I first got her for the first, I would say 3-4 months. And then after that, I'm like, Janae, it's okay. Like, I was like, okay, I can let her dry out some. And she's only lost her oldest leaves from whenever I first purchased her. She hasn't lost any other new leaves. I haven't had any issues with yellowing or browning. And I water her, yeah, the once a month too. And she receives indirect light from the Soltech lighting and north facing window. And that's it. And I do tell her almost every day how beautiful she is, how much she makes me very happy and very grateful for her too, because I've been able to gift this plant to a lot of people, a lot of friends. You know who you are. Love you. And so, yeah, I'm happy. You know, the plant that keeps on giving. Okay, since we're talking about monsteras, my next one is another monstera. It will be my Monstera ADANSONII laniata. So this is recent as of September. So I've been having her for what, 5 months, and I haven't had any issues with her. Thankfully, she's been very easy, and she actually, I was hesitant at first to put her here. She lives on my wall in the plant room, and this is a little bit further away from the north facing window, but no issues. Because I mean, even though it's north facing window, I know it doesn't get as much light as like a south or I think the east. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know my directions, y'all. But it still gets decent sunlight, and so my plants, they still love it. And I already propagated her too and gave to a friend and propagated one for myself. And so yeah, this one, if you can get your hands on this plant, I would highly recommend this plant. Don't be intimidated by its size or by its leaves, because I was at first. My next easy personal plant is my Jade Syndapsis. She has grown so beautifully. She lives on the windowsill by my window in my bedroom, which is also a north facing window, and she loves it there. I actually had to like move one of her leaves. They were like trying to grow in the blinds. I love when plants do that. But yeah, she has been another easy plant, and these plants can and do perform well in their growth in lower lightings too. It doesn't necessarily have to be up on a windowsill or under a direct light. They can do good in low light situations. However, like any plant, of course, the more light you give it, the better it is for them to thrive. And so she lives her best life right here in this little corner next to her best friend, my Snow Queen, which my Snow Queen is starting to like grow up in her, but very easy. Some of my plants, I could say they're like set it and forget it plants, because they are just low maintenance, and she's definitely one of those plants. Okay, the next one is my Burle Marx. Yeah, she's a weed, y'all. She's a weed. If you don't have this one, I highly recommend it. She grows like really fast. And this is another one I've propagated so many times. And also, too, what I love, when I purchased her, she was like, I don't know, in a 4-inch planter, 4-inch pot. And she had 3-4 variegated leaves on her. And I was like, ooh, this is cute. So I cut it. And now I have two. I got a variegated plant, and then I got Mama, which is just beautiful and green and luscious. But yes, very fast. She just like multiplies, especially too, well, when you cut any plants, like it does help promote growth. And that's definitely helped her. She has not even doubled in size, but she's tripled in size since I've had her. I know it's been over 2 years since I've been having her, and she's living her best life. So she actually receives artificial lighting since she is over here, further away from my smaller north-facing window in my bedroom. And I water her like 4 weeks. Yeah, y'all. But oh, she's just really pretty. The leaves, the stems, the way she grows, and I love this plant. I really do, and I highly suggest, if you don't have this one, to see if you can get your hands on it, because if you get I don't know, a lot of satisfaction, especially from a fast growing easy plant, get this baby. Okay, get ready for me to talk for an hour about aglaonemas. Y'all know I love aglaonemas. If you don't, I love aglaonemas. Why? They're beautiful. Just Google them and look at all the varieties. That's all I gotta say. So, I I was having trouble with this one because I was like, Janae, you have a lot. I have like over 30 varieties because I can't stop. And I can't just pick one, but I'm going to pick one for the sake of this video. But I would say majority of your aglaonemas, like, they are very easy to care for. They're also known as Chinese evergreens too. I will put a disclaimer in there. I have had more issues with the more rarer forms of aglaonemas and the super high pinkish variegation, aka Lotus Delight, and the Aglaonema Orange Stardust. I'm just gonna leave it at that. But the ones that you can find them easily accessible at your big box stores, your grocery stores. The Aglaonema Siam, the Red Siam, the Pink Aurora, the Aglaonema what's her name? What's your name, boo? Green Papaya, the Golden Papaya. Like, there's a lot of varieties out there. But for the sake of the video, since I can't choose every single one in my collection, I'm gonna say the Aglaonema Silver Bay. This one you have always seen. I'm pretty sure you've passed it if you went to a nursery or a big box store and you're just like, oh, that's a big plant. It's a big plant that you need. If you want a plant that is so easy, it's very drought tolerant too. And if you are more of a underwaterer, this plant would be perfect for you. And these plants do well in low light settings, and also obviously if you can provide them with more light, that's great. But if you can't, that's fine, and go get you a little grow light clip. That baby will be good to go. Very easy. I water this one particularly once a month, and she gets only artificial lighting, and this is whenever I can remember to put it on, y'all. Baby lives in the corner with her Aglaonema sisters, and yeah, they all get the same watering, the same lighting. Very easy to care for plants. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. This was a little bit different than what I do on my channel. If you like more of these videos, please let me know in the comments, and subscribe and like it and do all the things. And also please follow my plant podcast with my plant buddies, Steve and Richie, which is awesome. I love them too. And we have so much fun just talking about plants, y'all, all things plants. So yeah, let me know in the comments all the things. And also if you have any of these plants, and if you disagree with me, that's completely fine. So let me know. Because of the Lord's great love, we are not consumed, for his compassions never fail. They are new every morning. Great is your faithfulness. I say to myself, the Lord is my portion. Therefore, I will wait for him.